I'm Stuart Reed, Professor of Marketing at IMD. I'm here today to bring you the first in a 5-part series on effectuation. Effectuation is a set of entrepreneur heuristics, things that expert entrepreneurs have learned in the uncertain context of creating new products, new firms, and new markets. In today's episode, we'll look at the first of those heuristics, using the means you have available to you. And we'll hear the story of a pair of brothers who used the things they had, the things they knew, and worked with the people that they knew to create a brand new product, a product which is both stylish and environmentally friendly, and in the process, create a whole business and even a whole industry. Let's take a look in detail about how this story came about.
It's a story about a couple of brothers. Two brothers from Switzerland named Daniel and Marcus Freitag. They're sons of a PR man and a social worker, and they grew up in Switzerland in the 1970s. During the 1970s, they saw the gas crisis. They saw Switzerland enter the ecological movement. They became bicycle fanatics, using bicycles as their primary means of transportation in Zurich. And in the course of using their bicycles in the city, they also came to realize that the carrying products, the bags which people use to carry things on their bicycles, especially the bike messengers in Switzerland, were inadequate for the kind of weather people would face in Zurich, the wet and the cold. And they couldn't find anything on the market that was suitable for them to be able to use to carry things around safely on their bicycles in Switzerland. But looking out from their apartment window, what they saw was opportunity. They saw trucks going by with very strong truck tarpaulins on the outside, protecting the contents of the truck from the elements of the Swiss winter. They saw trash, seat belts, bike inner tubes. They thought to themselves, we can take these pieces and put them together and build a much stronger bag that would be able to withstand the rain and the damp of the Swiss winter and be able to make carrying things on a bicycle safer and more comfortable. They thought to themselves, we could even recycle these things and create new products from other people's trash. And so, in 1993, they got a hold of a used truck tarpaulin, washed it in their own bathtub, sewed it together on their own sewing machine, using bike inner tubes to seal the seams, and using second-hand car seat belts as shoulder straps. The bags were incredibly popular among the very hip bike messenger community in Zurich in the early 1990s, as they not only were comfortable and provided good weather protection for the contents, but also because each was unique, as individual as the tarpaulin it was cut from. Word spread, and people started to buy the bags for more than delivering goods on bicycles. They started to buy bags to have something unique, which they would carry around town or even to the office. And so, Daniel and Marcus responded by making a wider variety of bags, small bags and computer bags, handbags and duffel bags, a whole line of Freitag bags, all based on the same elements they started with, recycled materials from trucks, and cars, and bikes. What's interesting about this story is that Daniel and Marcus did not start out with a grand vision. What they started out with were the things that they had at hand, materials that they could get for free, equipment they already had available, knowledge they already had from their own upbringing and their own personal experiences, bike messengers they already knew, and each other. A lot of people think that new products, new firms, and new markets are a function of vision or insight, some brilliant thing that somebody wakes up with in the middle of the night. But in reality, a lot of the stories behind the products and companies that we know and love today are much more emergent, assembled from the means that people had at hand at the time. The things that people know, the things that people have, and the people that people know. And putting those things together in new and creative ways. The epilogue to this story is a very interesting one. Today, Freitag employs about 80 people and sells about 200,000 bags in 300 stores around the world each year. The bags are now part of the design collections at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City and at the Museum of Design in Zurich. It's interesting to see Marcus and Daniel continue to work with waste, resources they can have cheaply or for free. As you've been watching this video, one of the things you've actually been seeing is the creation of the new Freytag office in Zurich, Switzerland. It is an office created of more things the Freytag brothers had at hand. Used shipping containers designed to build a recycled office where the Freytags can work and sell their bags. And so, as you see it built, what you see is another transformation of trash and things people have readily available into something new and something valuable. There's no way of knowing what we'll see next from Daniel and Marcus. However, two of the additional things they have to work with are their understanding of two big trends unfolding in our society. One trend is individualization. In this case, personalized bags, each of which is distinctive because it's uniquely cut from a different truck tarpaulin, and so it offers its buyer a chance to have a bag that is truly one of a kind. The second is the trend of being ecological, taking advantage of the interest in recycling and reuse. And they're likely to continue along both these lines. Certainly the ecological one, as Daniel has still avoided getting a driver's license and exclusively rides a bicycle around Zurich. So, before we put this principle to work for you, let's take a step back and look at what Daniel and Marcus had to work with. They started with the things that they knew. They knew that there were bad products for bike messengers. They knew about recycling and ecology. They knew that people like to have individualized, personalized things, and they also knew about bike transport. The things that they had were trash, access to used bike inner tubes, used seat belts, and used truck tarps. They had a sewing machine and a bathtub, and they were able to get cheap used containers for their new office. And the people they knew, their parents who provided them access to information about marketing and social work, their clients who started using the bags and giving Marcus and Daniel feedback on what they liked and didn't like, and helped them create the market as well. When you see all these things laid out, it's easy to imagine how you can put them together and end up with a successful company like Freytag. It's also easy to imagine a number of other different paths the Freytag brothers could have taken, which could have been equally or maybe even more successful. But what's really important to see is where opportunities come from. That they're not magical or visionary, but that they are transformed from things that we, by and large, already have.
So, what we've seen here is the creation of a brand new product, a brand new firm, and even an industry from just the things that already exist. We've seen the Freytag brothers take used truck tarpaulins and used bike tires to create very stylish and very environmentally friendly bags. More generally, what we learn from this is that new products and new businesses and new opportunities are less a function of divine inspiration and more a function of the things that you already have. Things that you know, people that you know, and assets that you already have. The most important thing is to take those and transform them in some interesting way into something that is both novel and valuable. Starting with your means works because it lets you do three things. First, it lets you get going right away. Your means are yours and you have them now. You don't have to wait for somebody to generate a used truck tarpaulin for you. Second, it gives you an advantage. Nobody else has the same means as you, and so by virtue of using what you have and the things that you know them better than somebody else. And the third thing is, it lets you get going inexpensively. Your means are yours and you don't have to wait for investment or to purchase them in order to get started. So hopefully this has helped you with the first step of effectuation. From this, I'm hoping you'll do two things. One is, use the exercise which I have provided to inventory your own means and find out what foundations you might have for new opportunities, new firms, new products. And the second thing is, I hope you'll join me for the remaining 4 episodes covering the other 4 principles of effectuation. Hope you've enjoyed this. I thank you very much. This has been Stuart Reed, Professor of Marketing for IMD.